the man who tried to control everything, Adrian and his personal transformation through Stoic philosophy. There are moments in life when everything feels like it's falling apart, not because the world is cruel, but because we try to control what was never in our hands to begin with. This is the story of Adrian, an ordinary young man. No superpowers, no perfect life, just a discovery that transformed his mind and led him to live with a clarity few people ever reach. This is not a story about heroes. It's a story about decisions. And it begins like this. Adrian was 24 years old. He lived in a noisy city, full of traffic and promises that were rarely kept. He worked at a digital agency where overtime wasn't paid, but it was expected. Every morning, he woke up to an urgent notification, an angry client, an unanswered email, a problem that wasn't really his, yet consumed him as if it were. It wasn't his job that caused his exhaustion. It was his need to control everything. His boss constantly changed instructions at the last minute. His co-workers missed deadlines. The results were never good enough. Adrian wanted the world to meet his expectations, and every time it didn't, he collapsed inside. One morning, while rushing to work, a motorcycle passed so close it almost hit him. Adrian shouted, furious, but the bike disappeared between the cars. A 3-second event ruined 12 hours of his day. Not because of what happened, but because of how he interpreted it. That afternoon, he got home with his mind overloaded. He grabbed his phone, opened social media, and sank into endless comparisons. People traveling, getting promoted, celebrating. Meanwhile, he felt trapped in a routine that drained him. He went to sleep thinking about what he couldn't control, and woke up trying to control even more. The storm wasn't outside. It was inside him. That night, he couldn't sleep. Stress had him stuck in a loop of thoughts. He opened YouTube, just trying to distract himself. Among the recommended videos, one title stood out. 3 quotes by Marcus Aurelius that will change your life. He didn't know who Marcus Aurelius was, but something about the title pulled him in. Maybe exhaustion. Maybe intuition. He clicked. The first quote said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Adrian paused the video. He had never considered that his happiness depended on his mind, not his salary, not his boss. That idea hit him deeply. For years, he believed he had to impress everyone. His boss, his co-workers, his family. He thought success was external, not internal. The video talked about Stoicism, a practical philosophy used by emperors, soldiers, and philosophers. Something resonated. The next day, during his lunch break, he walked into a bookstore just to escape the office. A book caught his attention, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. He opened it at random. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. It felt like the book was speaking directly to him. He bought it. That night, he began reading. He discovered the most transformative idea of all, the dichotomy of control. There are things that depend on you, and things that don't. Your actions depend on you. Your effort depends on you. Your thoughts depend on you. But your boss's decisions don't. Other people's opinions don't. And results don't, at least not completely. He realized he had spent all his energy trying to control what he never could. The next day, he made a simple decision, not to react to what he couldn't control. His boss arrived stressed and demanded impossible changes. Adrian took a breath. He didn't take it personally. He did what he could. For the first time in a long while, he felt free. That night, he discovered Epictetus, a man born into slavery who taught inner freedom. He read another powerful quote. Don't seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go smoothly. It was the exact opposite of how he had lived his entire life. Without realizing it, Adrian had begun a quiet transformation. Over the following days, he decided to apply Stoicism practically, not as abstract philosophy, but as a way of living. Every morning, he asked himself one question: what depends on me today? The answer was always the same: his attitude, his focus, his effort, but not the results, not other people's actions, not circumstances. He also started writing every night, as Marcus Aurelius recommended. He wrote down his thoughts, decisions, emotions, and lessons. That habit helped him see patterns. He got frustrated over insignificant things. He compared himself constantly. He treated everything as urgent and always felt behind. Little by little, he began to release that weight. He adopted a new routine, walking every afternoon without music, just listening to his thoughts. It felt strange at first, but soon became his favorite moment of the day, a real pause in the middle of chaos. He practiced another Stoic exercise, negative visualization. Not to feel depressed, but to appreciate what he had. He thought, what if I didn't have this job? What if everything changed tomorrow? Suddenly, what once felt like a burden began to feel like a privilege. Gratitude replaced pressure. He started eating better, sleeping better, managing his time with more awareness. And most importantly, he started saying no. No to projects that weren't his responsibility. No to unfair pressure. No to commitments that drained him. He discovered that saying no was also an act of courage. His life began to fall into place, not because of what he did externally, but because of what he no longer allowed internally. Growth never comes without a test, and Adrian's arrived suddenly. One morning, his boss called him into the office. The company was downsizing. Sales were down. The numbers didn't work. Adrian lost his job. A previous version of himself would have exploded. Fear, frustration, anger, guilt. But this time, he remembered the dichotomy of control. He couldn't control the decision. He couldn't control the situation. But he could control his response. He took a breath. He accepted the news. He left the office calmly and walked a few blocks in silence. He wasn't a robot. It hurt. The future worried him. But he didn't let it dominate him. He repeated a phrase that had become his mental anchor. If it's not in your hands, let it go. That same day, he did something crucial. He sat down and wrote everything he felt. Then he wrote the only thing he could control, his plan moving forward. He enrolled in a course, revived personal projects, updated his portfolio. And for the first time in years, he felt freedom instead of fear. He had lost his job, but gained something far more valuable, the ability not to sink into chaos. The hardest test became the strongest proof that Stoicism worked. A few weeks later, Adrian found a new job, at a commerce company, with a more humane boss and a healthier pace of work. But the most important change wasn't his new job. It was the new person he had become. He no longer felt the need to compete with everyone. He no longer lived anxious about results. He no longer reacted impulsively. He no longer carried impossible expectations. His peace no longer depended on the outside world, it depended on him. He became more present, more centered, more grateful, more free. Every day, he lived by what he had learned. What depends on me, I do. What doesn't depend on me, I let go. That simple phrase would stay with him for the rest of his life, because he had finally understood the deepest lesson of Stoicism. True freedom is not doing whatever you want. It's not being a slave to your emotions, your circumstances, or external chaos. It's being the master of yourself. And that, Adrian finally had. This is the story of a young man who discovered that life cannot be controlled, but it can be directed. That peace is not found outside, but within. and that true strength is not resisting everything, but accepting what doesn't depend on you. We all have an Adrian inside us. The chaos, the pressure, the fear of failure, it all follows us. But we also have the opportunity to choose. To respond with wisdom. To live with serenity. To be stronger than our circumstances. Stoicism is not an ancient philosophy, it's a guide for living today. And every day can be the beginning of a new story. If you're interested in Stoicism, personal growth, and life stories, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. And don't forget to follow us on all our social networks to stay connected with our community. Welcome to the Stoic Stories family.